saying that the Nissan Leaf is the Prius of electric vehicles would not be a mistake. I mean, short of the Saturn EV1, no one was ahead of Nissan when it comes to mass producing electric vehicles. And yes, there was the Mitsubishi i-MiEV, which was available around the same time, in limited numbers. But anyhow, the point is that when the 2011 first generation Nissan Leaf arrived, it demonstrated what was possible. If anything, it scratched the surface of what was possible when it came to EVs. With about 160 kilometers of range in the best of conditions, it was limited, but it did create, I suppose, a series of early adopters that understood that EVs had a future. When the second generation Nissan Leaf arrived for the 2018 model year, well, it kind of, in short, revolutionized the idea of adopting and adapting to an electric vehicle as a daily driver. The second generation truly took off with up to about 242 kilometers of estimated range. It was versatile, it performed well, it actually looked pretty good, and it sold well as well. In fact, between the two first generations, a collective nearly 20 billion, yes, that's billion with a B, kilometers have been accrued over those 15 years. And over that period of time, over that distance, Nissan has taken many notes, made many tests, and made many adjustments, and have given birth to this, the third generation Nissan Leaf. Now, the Leaf is, how can I put it, a true competitor and a better EV, I suppose, in some ways, than many of its current not offerings, but competitors. Say Kona EV, Niro EV, and the next generation Bolt, which is for the 2027 model year, should be on its way. But as far as range and technology is concerned, it's definitely way at the top. And for the moment in Canada, it is certainly one of the more affordable versions when you consider that the starting price is of just shy of $45,000 before fees. Now this is a first drive impression of the all-new 2026 Leaf, and we're going to be driving it over the next 24 hours or so, putting on a number of kilometers and driving it through a series of different, circumstances, highway and in the country and all that. We're back in Prince Edward County. I was just here for the XC60. But I don't want to front load the video yet, the review yet, but I can tell you the little that I've been or spent time behind the wheel, it is certainly a far more refined yet simpler vehicle than the car it replaces. Anyhow, in the following video, as we typically do, we're going to do a walk around, talk about the design, which, as you can very well see, this is no longer a hatchback. It is now a crossover, or if you ask me, more like a tall four-door coupe, which is a body style I still really can't wrap my brain around, but not all is lost because some aspects are actually quite attractive. Anyhow, and then after that, once we do the laps, we're going to go for a little bit of a drive, and I'm going to give you some driving impressions. Okay, so let's talk quickly about styling before I touch on the prices. I'm slowly warming up to the look of the car. Not a huge fan of the front end, but like as I learned, a very cool line is that LED is the new chrome, so there's a lot going on there. The car overall is 20 millimeters wider than the previous generation, and you can tell that it's much wider, mostly because the car overall is 76 millimeters shorter than the previous generation. Wheelbase is 10 millimeters, 1 centimeter, and overall height 10 centimeters, 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters lower than the previous car. The best part visually by far, as far as I'm concerned, is the rear tailgate and the rear hatch and the way the spoiler is integrated in there. It's actually quite cool, and I love how it's blacked out. It really does work. While we're back here, I might as well just show you the trunk. I don't have the exact spec, unfortunately, but it's very usable, very accessible. Good storage beneath there too, so as far as filling it up for daily commutes, daily use, it's pretty brilliant. 2, 3, you can't see the actual other thing or demonstration there. These are, I guess you call them Easter eggs, very common on current cars. But if you know your Japanese, Nissan, there are actually 30 of them on this car, which is an SV Plus. I'll end on the styling. You know, it's a tall 4-door coupe. I will mourn the 5-door hatchback that it once was, and I will say that the 18-inch wheels on this car, not exactly my favorite. A little bit weird looking, but hey, it's styling. What do I know? So the base car right now is the S Plus, which starts at $44,998 before fees. A dual 12.3-inch displays, a dual ports, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless, heated front seats, and a number of other features. Decent with the big battery. So I just wanted to show you. You get your NACS plug right there. And on the other side, while I reach there, talk to you about the Platinum, which is the top trim, which is $52,798. So that's your level 2, 1772. Typical plug that we're used to. This happens to be an SV Plus, which according to Nissan Canada, sorry about that, it will be their volume car, and it includes the dual 14.3-inch displays. Oh yeah, this, just not a fan. Ergonomics, big zero, but very spacious back seat. Easy, you could fit 3 back there. Not in a pinch, but you know, on the daily. So yeah, SV Plus. So once you get into it, you have access to twin 14.3-inch displays. Let's start it up. It's actually really airy. The cabin, the way it's laid out, it's really nice. I love how everything in the dashboard is below the base of the windshield. But here's your shot of the the twin 14.3-inch displays. Overall, very nice, accessible. The controls down here, because the sun sets very early and we ended late last night, they are user-friendly. The best part is that you can actually lean your finger on the base of the dashboard here to steady it, to select your controls. That works out. Again, displays are very clear. My only complaint, and this is very personal, is that as you can see, this is like almost up against my mouth. Can't see parts of this portion of the screen, so I gotta scooch over to see some of the HVAC controls at the bottom and some of the information available. But that's totally me. When you also step up to the $47,998 SV Plus, you have heated steering wheel, and you also have heated rear seats. Nice touches. The dashboard itself, it's very, very simplified. Very little going on. I mean, this is just aesthetics again, but this is kind of, I don't know, boring. An effort could have been put towards, I don't know, making this a little bit more attractive. This is your drive modes. They appear right here. And this is your e-step button for max regen. Plenty of storage. As you can see, this is wide open down here, so it really gives you the impression, the impression of airiness. Decent, okay storage. The interior is just nice overall. These are actually, it's not leather, it's like a recycled material that's actually more supple than leather. It's a really nice interior, and it just keeps getting better. So I'm now a few hundred kilometers into the drive with the Leaf, and it's immediately noticeable that Nissan put a tremendous amount of effort into making the Leaf the most refined electric vehicle in its price range. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that it's even nicer, smoother, not necessarily more comfortable, but just more put together than a lot of SUVs, EVs, costing retailing for $15,000 more than this. The platform is great, but I think what they've done with the multi-link, 4-link rear suspension, a new suspension tune, is exceptional. I will say, at first getting into the car, I felt like I was high up and on stilts. Yes, the wheelbase is a little shorter, but it's nothing insane. I've settled into that, but a lot of the roads that I've been driving for the last few hours have been fairly twisty. Now I just left a small town, and I'm blown away by how quiet and, dare I say it, luxurious this car feels. It's really, I have no other words to properly describe the sense that I'm getting from the car. Steering is great. Power, motor, inverter, reducer, all in one from the electric powertrain. 214 horsepower, 261 pound-feet of torque. The car is actually reasonably quick. Multiple drive modes. I've been in standard almost the whole time. I didn't even bother. I mean, it's a first drive event, so I didn't bother setting up personal. But passing, accelerating, everything is great. I honestly, I'm struggling to find something wrong. And if I was to find something wrong, it would be in the regen setting. So you have E-step, which is essentially the most aggressive regen braking setting. If it's not in, or on I should say, then you can use the paddles, very much like the Koreans. However, despite having 4 modes, I don't feel that it's aggressive enough. There isn't a big enough step between each setting to warrant having 4 different steps. And unfortunately, because of the powertrain configuration and all that, it will not come to a full stop on its own, even in E-step. Is that a problem? I don't know. But other improvements, I mean, 488 kilometer range. This, as I mentioned, is an SV Plus, so it's 463 kilometers of range, which is perfectly adequate for the size and intended use of this car. Fast charging, I showed you the 2 ports, 150 kilowatts, so 35 minutes for a 10 to 80 charge. Plenty acceptable, again, based on the price range, based on the intended use and all of that. I'm frankly struggling to say that, no, this is wrong, this is bad, because there really isn't anything wrong with it. There will be a smaller from the 75 standard currently now, which is why you have the Plus. There will be a 53 kilowatt hour battery unit, so you'll have the Plus removed eventually. So that'll just lower the price. And I think the power output too, but that's, you pay less, you get a little bit less. It's completely acceptable. And compared to the Neros and Kona EVs that I've driven in the past, this is really, really nice. So in one of the possibly shortest, briefest conclusions I can come up with when it comes to the all-new 2026 third generation Nissan Leaf, I think it pretty much has the category nailed and all to its own. That is until the Kia EV4 shows up, because I think it will be its greatest competitor. As far as pricing is concerned, maybe I would make one simple comment. The 53 kilowatt hour battery had better be a little bit less than $40,000 to start, because with the Bolt priced at, with fees, about $43,000, it's already $2,000 cheaper than this with the Plus, with the larger 75 kilowatt hour battery. But I said it was going to be brief, but I guess not that brief. This car has impressed. And in fact, I'll go so far as to say that just about every other journalist on this event has found that this car is quite impressive.